Hi, welcome to the Piano Podcast. I'm Mario Ajero. This is the piano pedagogy teaching tip of the day. I participate in a number of online discussion groups for piano teachers, and piano teachers often visit these groups and participate in them to have certain issues or questions answered regarding some problems that they might have with their students. And one question that came up recently, and actually quite frequently, was how do I keep my students to play within rhythm or keep them from speeding up or slowing down when performing a piece? Now, there's a number of different techniques that you could use in order to encourage your students to play with a steadier rhythm in their performance. One is to have them actually away from the piano, maybe with the piano fall board closed or keys covered. You can actually have them tap out the rhythms or clap them, and that will help encourage them to focus in on the rhythms themselves without necessarily focusing on the notes or the keys that they're playing. Another technique that you might want to use a metronome to help encourage them to play with a steady beat. And sometimes they'll be more of a believer that when you tell them that they're not playing at the same tempo, they will have to kind of conform to what's going on with the clicking of the metronome. However, what I've often found is that a lot of times students sometimes are either discouraged or not particularly motivated by playing along with the boring clicks that go on with a metronome. So what I often do with a lot of my students is I encourage them to play with a steadier rhythm by playing along with them. Either if there is a teacher duet that goes along with the piece, I try to play that along with them, and that sometimes acts as a motivating factor that they need to stay together with their dance partner, so to speak, as far as it relates to the piano. Often pianists don't get the same opportunities to play with other musicians, such as string players and brass, woodwinds, and even percussion students as well. They don't get that opportunity to play with others. Often they're just playing all by themselves at the piano, so they don't have that sense of awareness of having to stay together with other musicians. Now, various method books have also CD and MIDI accompaniments that you could also use to play along with the student's performance, and that can also encourage them to play with a steadier beat away from the piano lesson as well when the teacher is not present. But what do you do when there's a student who's maybe at a more intermediate level or an advanced level when there are no duets or teacher accompaniments that go along with that there? In those particular cases, I try to, even still to this day, I still encourage my students to play along with me. I usually create a duet there by just doubling up their piano part. If you're a piano teacher, it'd be a good idea if you had two pianos, or at least a piano and a keyboard like I have here in my studio at home. Have a piano and a keyboard so that you could play along with the students. Usually when you're playing at a steady beat and the student hears that they're all out of sync with you, that usually hits a lot more home than if you point out from a third person's perspective, oh, did you realize you're slowing down there, or did you realize you're rushing in this particular section? But when they actually hear that they're out of sync, then that often hits a lot closer to home and will encourage them to play with a steadier rhythm. So some of you may have seen some videos of my son and piano student Neo playing at the piano. Neo, say hi to everybody.
Hi.
And I'm gonna show you one of the pieces that he's been working on. This is the Sonatina in C major, at least the first movement by Frank Lines, and we've been doing a lot as far as playing together at the same time, and I think that's helped encourage him play it with a steadier pulse throughout and also play with much more accurate rhythms. So hope you enjoy our performance of it.